The Bold and the Beautiful, a night of fashion, secrets, and explosive rivalries. As Forrester Creations' big fashion event approaches, excitement is building. It promises to be a night of glamour, filled with high fashion, celebrity guests, and a chance for some of Los Angeles' most influential people to make their mark. But beneath the surface of the glittering runways and beautiful designs, a storm is brewing. Taylor Hayes, a key player in the Forrester family drama, is about to disrupt the carefully laid plans of her former rival, Brooke Logan, and her ex-husband, Eric Forrester. The anticipation for the evening's fashion show is palpable. Steffy Forrester, now in charge of the family estate, has welcomed a star-studded guest list. Among the VIPs are Christine Blair, played by Laura Lee Bell, reality TV stars Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag, and social media influencer Markel Washington. Their presence is a nod to the power and influence of Forrester Creations, with each guest symbolizing the company's influence across a variety of industries. Meanwhile, Will takes the time to flirt with Elektra, adding a layer of personal drama to the evening's events. Ivy is busy promoting Forrester's jewelry line, while Daphne introduces a new fragrance collection. All the guests enjoy the glamour of the night, but beneath the glitter, tensions are rising. Eric, ever the visionary, is secretly planning a surprise for Ridge. He teams up with Brooke to create a surprise, dazzling moment for him during the fashion show. What's the plan? Brooke will wear a stunning, one-of-a-kind dress designed to catch Ridge's eye and mark the beginning of their potential reunion. Eric believes the gesture will reignite the spark between Ridge and Brooke, rekindling their relationship, which has been strained by recent events. But as is often the case in the world of the bold and the beautiful, plans rarely go smoothly. While Brooke prepares for her big moment, Taylor Hayes unexpectedly appears backstage. Although Ridge invited Taylor to the event, Brooke is less than thrilled to see her old rival nearby. The tension between the two women is palpable, with years of unresolved issues erupting into a heated confrontation. Brooke, always quick to defend her own interests, objects to Taylor's presence, and the two soon find themselves at odds backstage. Taylor, still loyal to Ridge, is determined to stop Brooke from stealing the spotlight at the event. She can sense that Brooke has an ulterior motive, aiming to manipulate Ridge's emotions with the surprise dress. The disagreement escalates and soon Taylor makes a shocking move. She locks herself and Brooke in the dressing room, preventing Brooke from stepping into the spotlight. Brooke's frustration is evident as she bangs on the door, screaming for help. But Taylor remains adamant. She doesn't want Brooke to interfere with Ridge's night and the plans she has laid out. As the fashion show begins, Ridge takes the stage, gives a heartfelt speech, and praises Carter for his work. The models walk the runway, but backstage, Brooke remains locked in the dressing room, unable to make a grand entrance. The clock is ticking, and the night is slipping away for Brooke, whose entire plan hinges on a moment of levity. Eric is also caught in a difficult situation. While he hopes for a smooth evening, the drama unfolding behind the scenes threatens to derail everything. The tension between Brooke and Taylor has reached a boiling point, and when it becomes clear that Brooke will miss her moment, the animosity between the two women explodes. Unable to hear Brooke's cries of despair, Taylor stands firm in her position. It's clear that her main concern is not the fashion show, but maintaining control over Ridge's emotions and protecting him from what she perceives as Brooke's manipulative behavior. As the show continued without Brooke, Eric, Ridge, and the rest of the guests remained oblivious to the chaos backstage. When the dressing room doors finally opened, however, it was a scene of utter devastation. Brooke emerged, battered and bruised, her body showing signs of a violent struggle. Taylor was behind her, equally disheveled, but still standing tall, her face hard with determination. Something had gone wrong. The fashion event had been overshadowed by the fight between the two women, and the audience, once so excited, was now in shock. Eric was furious, his heart pounding not only from the emotional fallout, but also from the realization that his carefully planned night had been destroyed in an instant. At that moment, Eric, overwhelmed by the situation, collapsed. His heart, already under a lot of stress, cannot bear the weight of the conflict. Donna rushes to his side, calling an ambulance while Ridge tries to make sense of the chaos. As Eric is rushed to the hospital, the foundation of the Forrester family seems to crumble before their eyes. Steffi, who has been trying to stay calm, now has to deal not only with the consequences of her mother's actions, but also with the fallout of the legacy her family has worked so hard to build. Hope is also caught in the aftermath. She arrives at the scene to find her mother and Taylor in a tense confrontation. With Liam's health hanging by a thread, Hope finds herself torn between supporting her family and dealing with the emotional wreckage left by her mother's actions. For Steffi, it's a painful moment of reflection. Her relationship with Ridge has always been tested by Brooke's presence, but this time, it's different. Taylor's aggressive approach to Ridge's attention and loyalty backfires. And in the process, she alienates not only Brooke but also her family. As the evening unfolds, it becomes clear that the rivalry between Brooke and Taylor is far from over. Ridge, caught in the middle, must decide whether to continue to cling to the past or move forward with a new understanding of the women in his life. For Brooke, her dream of rekindling her relationship with Ridge is fading. The night didn't go as planned, and her relationship with him seems more fragile than ever. But as she stands backstage, bruised and exhausted, Brooke knows one thing for sure: she will fight for Ridge, even if it means confronting Taylor again and again. Taylor, on the other hand, is more determined than ever to protect her relationship with Ridge. Despite the violence and chaos, she feels her actions are justified. Ridge needs her, and she will do whatever it takes to keep their relationship intact. As for Ridge, his heart and mind are broken. He loves both women in different ways, but he also knows that the future of his family, and perhaps his own happiness, depends on how he weathers the storm brewing around him. The events of the night of the fashion show are only the beginning. As the Forrester family struggles to heal, new challenges await. Eric's health remains in jeopardy, and the rift between Taylor and Brooke will only deepen. As tensions continue to rise, one thing is certain: the Forrester legacy will never be the same. The battle for Ridge's heart is far from over. Brooke and Taylor will continue to compete, each woman believing she has the right to stand by Ridge. But in the end, it may not be Ridge who makes the choice. It may be family dynamics, emotional baggage, and past mistakes that determine the fate of these relationships. The question remains: will Ridge ever be able to find peace amid the chaos of his past, or will the storm continue to rage, leaving destruction in its wake? The world of the bold and the beautiful is no stranger to dramatic twists and heartbreaking moments. But as Scott Clifton's character Liam Spencer faces his own mortality, fans are gearing up for one of the most emotionally intense storylines in soap opera history. In a recent interview with Soap Opera Digest, Clifton shared the profound and transformative journey Liam will take as he confronts his terminal brain tumor. The storyline, which has already begun, will bring both heartache and healing to Liam, his loved ones, and viewers. Liam's world and the lives of those around him are about to change forever. The heartbreaking news of his terminal brain tumor has been revealed on screen, and it quickly becomes clear that Liam's time is running out. As fans know, the bold and the beautiful thrives on intense emotional drama, and this reveal promises to be one of the most heartbreaking moments of the year. However, despite the confirmed medical diagnosis, Liam refuses to accept the reality of his condition. His initial reaction is denial. As Scott Clifton explained in the interview, this sense of disbelief is deeply rooted in Liam's character. "I think Liam really struggles with this diagnosis," Clifton shared. "He knows the truth, but he can't accept it. He doesn't want to face the truth." That's something that's interesting to explore. Liam's struggle with acceptance will be at the heart of this storyline. According to Clifton, Liam's refusal to talk about his condition with his family or loved ones only adds to his internal conflict. It was difficult for him to even let the people closest to him know what was going on, Clifton continued. "He's been through so much already, and the thought of having to face this truth was more than he could bear." Liam's emotional response to the diagnosis was complex and multilayered. The denial he displayed was not just a rejection of the idea of death, but also a protection from the intense emotional pain of knowing that his days were coming to an end. In a vulnerable moment, Liam began to show signs of emotional distress. Clifton explained that this internal conflict manifested itself in Liam's demeanor. "I don't know if it was pure anger, but he started to get a little bit more edgy," he said. "It was really fun to play those moments." He was grappling with a lot of emotions in a very short period of time. As Liam confronts the reality of his condition, Clifton portrays a character forced to confront both his fears and his fragile emotional state. Despite his best efforts to maintain control, Liam's inability to accept his fate begins to affect his relationships, especially with those who care about him the most. Throughout the course of The Bold and the Beautiful, Liam's relationships have become the foundation of his character's arc. From his complicated love life with Hope Logan and Steffi Forrester to his role as a father to Kelly and Beth, Liam's relationship with his family has shaped who he is. However, his brain tumor diagnosis has a devastating ripple effect on these relationships. Steffi, who has gone through her own tumultuous journey with Liam, remains steadfast in her support. She understands his struggles better than most, having gone through her own battles with loss and grief. However, Steffi's relationship with Liam becomes strained when he refuses to accept the truth about his illness. Her desire to help him clashes with her desire to hide the reality of her condition from everyone around her. Hope, on the other hand, remains deeply concerned about Liam's well-being. The emotional complexity of their relationship has always been one of the driving forces of The Bold and the Beautiful, and now, as Liam faces death, Hope must confront her own guilt, fear, and love. She understands that they can never go back to how they were, but the prospect of losing Liam forever forces her to re-examine their past. As Liam continues to deny his diagnosis, he clings to the belief that a miracle can save him. His optimism, though misplaced, is something Clifton says is a natural part of the character's struggle. Liam has always been someone who has held on to hope, even in the most hopeless situations, Clifton explains. So the idea of him trying to find a way to beat this tumor, even when everything is against him, feels very true to who he is. This theme of hope versus reality will play out throughout the story. Liam will seek out experimental treatments, consult with specialists, and even consider alternative therapies, hoping for something, anything, that might save him. However, as doctors continue to tell him that there is no cure, his internal battle will become increasingly intense. Liam's optimism will continue to clash with the reality of his situation, leading to increasingly tense confrontations with those around him. His loved ones will be torn between supporting his hope and urging him to prepare for the inevitable. One of the most powerful aspects of Liam's story is how it forces him to reflect on his life and legacy. As a father, Liam's thoughts often turn to his children, Kelly and Beth. He is deeply concerned about how they will cope without him, and he struggles to leave them behind. This concern is one of the driving forces behind his decision to fight for his life. He wants to make sure his children are taken care of and that they remember him for the good he has done in their lives. For Hope and Steffi, this is a moment of reckoning. Both women have their own emotional connections to Liam, and they will have to come to terms with the fact that their shared history with him may soon come to an end. While they have loved him dearly in the past, this is a time for them to reflect on who he is and how he has impacted their lives. For Liam's father, Bill, the situation is particularly difficult. Bill's complicated relationship with his son has always been one of love mixed with regret. As Liam's condition worsens, Bill is faced with the idea that he may never have a chance to mend his relationship with his son. The question of whether Liam's death will make their relationship worse or whether Bill will finally find peace with Liam before it's too late is a key part of the story. The plot is sure to culminate in a devastating and emotional climax. As Liam continues to deteriorate, the question remains, will he survive? The answer remains unclear, but the uncertainty surrounding his fate adds tension and heartbreak to every scene. The dramatic nature of the bold and the beautiful often brings characters back from the brink of death, so the possibility of Liam making a miraculous recovery can't be completely ruled out. However, as Scott Clifton admitted in his interview, I don't know exactly where this is going, but I do know that whatever happens, it will be told with care, generosity, and love. Everyone involved in this story, from the actors to the writers, is committed to telling it right. Liam's story isn't over yet. Whether his fight for survival ends in tragedy or triumph, it's clear that this storyline will have a lasting impact on the Forrester and Spencer families and on viewers who have followed Liam's journey over the years.